Was the strike action that was undertaken the day before yesterday against electricity tariff hike a success or a failure?
For the first time in the history of Sri Lanka, unions took to the streets not on behalf of their labour rights, but on behalf of the rights of the people. The pain of the slap dealt by the people still cannot be borne. In truth, there was no strike. This has become regardless of how much they were affected by the electricity tariff hike. The working people were wary of participating in this strike due to it being politically motivated. We are symbolically showing our protest in various areas. This is like setting fire to one electricity bill instead of setting fire to all the electricity bills in the country. The arguments brought forward by opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe and people like Lal Kantha, who call themselves revolutionary idealists, were shattered by public opinion. I wish to take this opportunity to thank the public opinion. All schools located in the town in the Anuradhapura district, that is my district, did not function. Sinhala schools, Tamil schools and Muslim schools were all closed. Those in the government who said they would resign can go and observe if they wish. If they have a brain, then Lal Kantha would have learnt a good lesson through this trade union strike. They failed in 1988 to enforce the decisions that they made alone without the people, and they have failed today as well. What we have to ask is, where else has a major one-day strike being called? We shut down 264 private institutions. Why? Today the public sector is not the engine of the economy. Whether the public sector is closed or open, it makes no difference. If those like Lal Kantha talk about the success and failure of trade union action about government laws, then they will never be able to carry out a strike action. When you have members who come running when their leave is cancelled, how are you going to hold a strike? The strike at the Western Province Engineering Office was completely undertaken by the government. The engineers came in the morning to work and were informed that they had to sign in the morning, afternoon and evening. The engineer's job is not to sign the book but to go to the field and work. Instead of letting them do this, the government called them for the strike. So we are thankful to the government. Ranil Wickremesinghe is trying to topple the government through the TV. Today, Lal Kantha engages in strikes via the electronic and print media. There is no trade union movement today. No one has trade union movements, not even the Janatha Vimukti Peramuna. In the letter to the President, we have clearly stated that we are holding a symbolic one-day strike on the 21st. We are going to broaden this. We held strikes at selected institutions. Now we have to hold a major strike. We cannot call such a strike in haste.
The Secretary of the Democratic Left Front, Minister Vasudeva Nanayakkara, opines that a new constitution based on national unity should be created. The minister made this observation at an event held in Colombo yesterday.
The Socialist Alliance celebrated Republic Day yesterday under the theme Creating a New Constitution for Strengthening Democracy and National Peace. Dr. N.M. Pereira, who was the pioneer in formulating the 1972 Republican Constitution, was remembered at the event. We should act through the 13th Amendment and move forward by strengthening it. We need to rectify the shortcomings and move beyond it. Some say that elections should not be held in the north. However, we ask that elections be held in the north in September as promised.
අපි කියනවා සැප්තැම්බර් මාසේ පොරොන්දු වුණ ආකාරයට උතුරේ මැතිවරණය පවත්වන්න. මේ රටේ ස්වෛරීභාවය ආරක්ෂා කරන්න බෑ ජාතික එක්සත්කම නැතුව. ඒ නිසා තමයි
The sovereignty of the country cannot be protected without national unity. This was the reason why the country was separated for 30 years. Let us make the request to abolish this constitution an unconditional request. Let us make national unity a vital feature when forming a new constitution, and let us fulfill the duties entrusted with the left to create a public opinion when searching for an access route to a victory that must be achieved. It is said that this is a white elephant. If it is a white elephant, then the government and the provincial councils are also white elephants. Someone else says it is a snake. There is no need to be afraid of a snake. It is said that a snake will leave if you ask it to leave. Why fear? The government alone cannot solve this problem.
Now, wild elephant incursions in rural villages are a constant occurrence. However, yesterday, wildlife officers had their hands full when attempting to drive away several wild elephants that encroached on an urban area.
These wild elephants had made their way to Katapotha 25 kilometers from Kurunagala. The 4 beasts had emerged from a bush near the Tissa Mahavidyalaya in Katapotha town last morning. The bush area, spanning an area of roughly 2 acres, is located 50 meters away from the school. The arrival of these wild elephants caused panic among those living in the vicinity. Due to the urban nature of the area, wildlife officers from the Nikavaratia office and the Katapotha police decided to commence an operation last evening to drive the pachyderms back to the wild. The operation to drive away the wild elephants to the Pelahara Reserve in Kobegana began at around 5 last evening. Our correspondent in the area said that the elephants were seen close to the Kolamuna Oya in Panduvasnora this evening.
What you just witnessed were the 7 wonders of the world. Here is another wonder. This is a report on 3 development projects commenced at a single location that have today been limited to foundation stones.
This is the Kalamatia Fisheries Harbor in Ambalantota. 3 foundation stones have been laid on 3 occasions to develop this harbor. But the only construction that has been undertaken here is a crossroad along this rock dam. The foundation stone for the construction of an ice manufacturing plant was first laid back in 1970. The foundation stone laid by then Minister of Industries and Fisheries, Philip Gunawardena, is today symbolized by a mere plaque. Here is another plaque. This plaque was constructed to signify the foundation stone laid in 1982 by then Minister of Fisheries, Festus Pereira, for the construction of a fisheries service centre in close proximity to the Kalamatia Fisheries Harbour. The third plaque was erected in 2000. This plaque was erected to symbolize the foundation stone laid by the then Minister of Fisheries for the construction of a fish preservation and fisheries product unit. Since we were in school, the only thing that has been there at the Kalamatia Harbour is foundation stones. This is a dream for us. During elections, they constructed a stone bund. This is the stone bund. The water currents are too strong for this fragile bund, so we can't keep our boats here. So we have to take them to the Tangol Harbour. The only hope of the fishing community here is for the benefits of these development projects to reach the next generation.